Hi there, Bryce Holdaway here, co-host of Location Australia and Director of Empower Wealth. When I bought my first investment property back in 1999, I wished that there was a formula or a process that I could follow to actually help me on my property investment journey. Because back then it was quite simple. I read a book, I realised that property investment was a really good thing, and I knew that I had to get my name on a title. But unfortunately, I didn't know what I was doing. So I bought it back in 1999. I decided that's the one that I want to purchase. And then once I'd put my name on a contract, I decided, well, I'd better run around and get some finance for this. And so I effectively went cap in hand to the bank and said, hey, I've just put an offer on this investment property. Can you lend me some finance? But from, I guess, over 13 years now of helping investors invest in property, I found out that there's some things that you need to do in advance, some preparation, and I guess there is a framework that you need to follow when you're buying investment property. So I'm going to reveal what I think is the property investment formula. I wish I knew this back in the beginning when I first started investing in property, and what you'll find is it's actually a really simple formula. There's nothing complex about it. But what I like to say is quite often things are very simple to understand, but not that easy to execute. So hopefully this resonates with you. Hopefully there's something here that you can take away and apply when you're buying your next investment property. But it's a 4-step process. Now, step number 1, or I guess component number 1, is A. And A stands for asset selection. It's important to buy the right asset. It's a $3.3 trillion asset in this country, 70% owner-occupied, 30% investors, and it's a highly opinionated and emotional asset. So the question I ask you is, which property should you buy? It's really, really difficult to know which one to buy because not every single property makes for a great investment. So asset selection is crucial as part of this property investment formula. The second component is B, and that's borrowing power. It's important that you understand the power of leverage and use other people's money as a tool to leverage and get the returns on holding a much larger asset. So in this case, with real estate, you only have to put in a 20% deposit, in some cases less, 10 or even 5%, and the bank will then lend you more money so that you can control a much larger asset. And the good news with that is if you do control the larger asset, you get the returns on a bigger asset as well. So borrowing power is a very, very crucial part of it. The third part of the formula is C, which is cash flow management. If you're going to use other people's money, you've got to make sure that you're in a position to fund any shortfall that may come from investing in that property. Now, there's a couple of options. You can use equity to help provide you with some cash flow, or you can just trap surplus income within your household and use that surplus to invest in anything really, but if it's investment property, that's what you'd use for your cash flow management. And the fourth part, and I think it's an often missed part of the equation, is you can see there's a pattern here, A, B, C, and D. D stands for defence. If you're going to buy real estate and you're going to enter into some borrowing capabilities, you really need to be in a position where you're providing yourself with a safety net. And that safety net means that in this case it could be some insurance. It could be the building insurance to protect your asset from any adverse things happening to it, whether that's vandalism, whether that's a natural event, anything that could happen to the structure of your asset needs to be protected. But what about you? That's the asset being protected, but what about you as the individual investor? You've also got to have a defence strategy in place to protect your income. What happens if you are in a position where, through no fault of your own, you're unable to earn an income? Are you protected? What happens if an unforeseeable event happens to you that you're no longer in a position where you can actually go to work and earn an income? So life insurance, total and permanent disability insurance, trauma insurance, some of those things allow you to effectively protect what it is that you're building here. And if you get all of these components right, chances are your experience is going to be very, very good when it comes to investing in property. Now, the challenge with any formula is that if you follow this formula, there is a certain human side of it that needs to come into it. I mean, if I was given, an award-winning chef's recipe on how to, cook up something amazing, I think I could follow the formula quite easily. But the problem is I wouldn't have the experience that surrounds it. So that's the case with property investment as well, because if you apply this formula, around the outside there needs to be the experience, there needs to be the skill, there needs to be the expertise, and you really have a couple of options. You can either get the knowledge yourself and take the time to understand as much as you can around the formula and around some of the sixth sense things that come investing in property, or you can obviously get someone else who is a professional who can help you. But irrespective of what it is that you do, it's important to get that expertise. It's important to add the element of experience into the mix. But here's the formula: asset selection, borrowing capacity or borrowing power, cash flow management, and of course having a defence strategy in place. And if you want to sort of split these up, this is effectively the strategy that you put in place to achieve your goals. And this here is effectively the tactics that you put in place. And it's kind of like the strategy wins the battle, but the tactics will win the war. So it's all about having that experience. So I guess if you're investing for the first time, maybe this might be useful to you. Or in fact, if you've already invested in property and you're just sort of wondering what sort of framework can I put around it, we think it's very, very simple in terms of asset selection, borrowing power, cash flow management and defence strategy in place. But because of the fact that you need some experience, it's not always that easy. So in the next video, we're going to teach you exactly how the property investment industry works. Who are the main players? How do they operate within the industry? And how can you get some of this valuable experience so that when you apply the formula, you'll be in a much better position to make sure that you secure the financial, lifestyle that you're looking for when you're investing in property. So I hope this has helped you. I hope it served you when you are investing in property. Perhaps you could use this as a bit of a framework to help you understand what it is that you need to do. And I look forward to, helping you understand how the industry works in the next video. Until then, have a great day, happy investing, and look forward to catching up again soon.